Alright, so this video is on solitude. I don't want to say solitude is a bad thing because, like I said, solitude is something great. It can really be used as a tool to really learn more about yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, literally in every regard. Like, it's solitude will help you cut out a lot of distractions from the outside world, uh, especially if you can like learn to get off your phone and get away from all social like interactions. Of course, we humans, so we need social interaction, but a lot of most social interactions is full of BS, really. So I guess when people be on this journey of learning of self-discovery, let's say even if it's through spirituality or just really just through just regular knowledge seeking, they tend to become more intelligent, and they say like it's a correlation between intelligence and depression. The more people know, the more that people are depressed. And I mean, I can see that, and it makes a lot of sense more in the spiritual sense, especially when you start going into like the deeper aspects of spirituality, where the people, where people believe that, let's say, it's actual like entities keeping us down, and then let's say on the other end of that spectrum, where people that just really just seek knowledge for their own fun and for just their own pleasure. You start to, I guess, through knowledge and just really reading so many things, you start to really, I don't know, I think you understand life on a different level. And at times, from my own experience, it really starts to become depressing. But let's say solitude base level. Everybody sees, most people that's on this path, you seek solitude, and I ain't gonna lie, very, I don't know, it's a good feeling when you start to really turn to yourself. Me, for example, I love like my own like free time to myself. I give it up now so often, but I would love like coming home and not having to worry about having to talk to nobody. Maybe that's just because of how I grew up. I was I was neglected a lot, but it's just I was always by myself growing up. So I always had no problem with just being by myself and just being in my own world. That's always how I've been. I've just been such a mental person growing up. I was always just in fantasy lands in my head. So in my alone time, that's like my playground. I love it. I cherish my alone time. Now, like I said, you got obligations to people, things. So like I said, at times I have to force myself to give myself alone time. But my alone time is like my guilty pleasure. That's how it was for a lot of my life. And then I guess when I started to become more aware of like my own story and how I was using solitude as like a comfort zone, and how I was using it like to protect myself from the outer world, it became like a prison in a way. And that's, like I said, you probably seen in the thumbnail, it's like people use their solitude. I think at first a lot of people's solitude is like their hermitage, it's their sanctuary. That's where they come back to recharge and stuff like that. And then it comes to a certain point that I think a lot of people may not even notice it, but where their solitude becomes like a prison. It's a sense of comfort for them because, I mean, everybody has to have like a safe space and all, but this safe space or like their solitude is preventing them from ever taking the next step in their life and the next step in their own evolution. Like, my solitude was keeping me in my comfort zone. It was not forcing me to, let's say, go out more. It wasn't helping me move out of like my own shyness and my own unconfidence and just my uncertainty. It was allowing me to be comfortable with that and stay in the confines of what I know. And I mean, it's not necessarily all the way bad, but I feel like a lot of people, especially when you on this type of journey, you get so caught up inside growing, and you get so caught up inside, trying to keep yourself protected, that you end up making yourself lonely. And in many ways, I never really felt lonely until I got older, especially when I was dealing with my own solitude. As a kid, like I said, I love my solitude. I was creating all type of stuff, and I think with my younger stuff, I was like more of a hustler. That's kind of crazy. I don't know where it came from, but I was always hustling. I was just always creating something. I was always watching. I was always doing something that filled my cup up, and I was just happy doing that. But now that I got older, maybe it was because I got older, but it was always something that was always, it just felt like I was a prisoner in like my own space now. And maybe that could just be because the lack of knowledge of myself to a certain degree maybe it was like an unconscious aspect to myself that I wasn't seeing, and I think that's really what it is now. It's like I think right now I'm beginning to realize, to understand that, oh, part of this is keeping me in prison, and that's why I was getting like this negative type of association with my own solitude, even though solitude is like one of my best friends since I've been born. But yeah, if y'all like the video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all later.